Okay, welcome back to Score on Business. So, Jim, when someone has something that needs protection, you just in the same way that somebody may need a doctor that's a specialist, you really need an IP person that's a specialist. What are the best ways for people to evaluate and find the right representation?
Well, on a very basic level, you want someone whose technology background is in the field of your invention, whether it's, again, chemistry and life sciences or electrical engineering or whatnot. I think something else to look for that's very important is an attorney that wants to understand your business, understand your goals and your strategy, so that they can help advise you for the best way to spend your money. It's easy to just say, okay, you've got that invention, yeah, we'll take your money and file your patent application. But understanding what your actual needs are, I think is more important and helps the process be most efficient and best use of your money. So an attorney that wants to know your business, wants to know your strategy, not just this particular product, is someone you should look for.
That makes a lot of sense. Somebody who's taken the time to learn about your business, and you can see that they're trying to figure out really what's needed.
Exactly.
Because it's not just a patent.
It may not be just a patent. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, tell us about a interesting story about when you've had to actually go fight over a patent. Well,
I was recently in Munich, where the European Patent Office is, because I have a client that's got many European patents, and it's possible in Europe for a competitor to challenge the patent at the European Patent Office. And so it's called an opposition process, and it's about a year and a half of documents back and forth, and then you go to the hearing at the European Patent Office, accompanied by a local attorney, of course, and you fight to defend your client's patent in the EPO. And luckily, I've been very successful in helping this client maintain its patents.
Awesome. How do you do that kind of at a high level, because most folks aren't attorneys?
Well, so the opponent, the party challenging the patent, will submit these what we call prior art documents, prior patents, publications, and point out that, well, the patent should not have been granted because of X, Y, Z. And then it's our job to say, well, that's not correct, because the patent is actually very unique, and you point out different aspects that aren't included in those prior art documents.
Right. So they're kind of, the opposition is hoping they can, throw up enough to stick to the wall, and you have to dot your. It sounds like really it's won before you ever get there, and that you do the due diligence up front.
That makes it a lot easier, and in fact you get a preliminary opinion from the European Patent Office saying, okay, we preliminarily agree, and then you go to the hearing and go back and forth in front of the board. Okay.
So tell us about a time where you have needed to defend for somebody here in the States.
It's much more complicated in the U.S. because the process is a lot more expensive. So in the U.S., the most practical way to challenge a patent nowadays is something called an inter-parties review, which is a relatively new process that can cost upwards of $1 million. So really, it's a litigation strategy more than just challenging a competitor's patents that you don't like to see. So we at the firm have several IPRs, they're called, both defending our clients' patents and attacking competitors' patents that have gone through the process.
Yeah. So what really is coming out of this is you definitely need to have someone who knows what they're doing specifically in your area, because when the swords come out, it's going to come down to how well that patent or IP work was done up front.
Yes, and unfortunately you often find out 2 or 3 years down the road whether your attorney did a good job. So you need to do your research and make sure you've got the right person.
Yeah, and to touch bases on one of the main things, or 2 things you were saying, make sure that they have expertise in your particular area, and make sure to listen that they are taking the time to ask about you and your business, and really kind of working with you to come up with the best way to protect what you need to protect, and then what's the best way to achieve that.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'll tell you, thanks so much for being here with us today, and we'll have to have you back.
My pleasure.
Okay, Jim. Thanks.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back next week. Thanks so much for watching Score on Business.